Good afternoon, welcome to Val di Sole in Trentino in Italy, round 7 of the UCI World Cup Cyclo-cross for men. Starting to get a little bit more cloudy above the mountains. Here's the standings in this World Cup. Eli Isabit is the leader with 187 points. Pim Ronhaar having a great season in second. Lars van der Haar in third place. Snowy conditions for the men. Not as slippery at the start, but the course now, with this increased temperature, is starting to be a little bit more slippery, but maybe the course is a bit more rideable. Beautiful shots that we're getting here of the clouds and the blue sky, the planes going overhead. We're up at 1,261 metres at the foot of the Passo del Tonale, which splits Trentino and Lombardia. Here's Michael van Turenhout.
Last year, the year before that, you were second. What is it with you in these conditions?
Yeah, I like the course, I like the view. So yeah, we will see how it goes this year. But yeah, I like it. So yeah, I feel good here.
There are more short climbs and turns this year. Is that something that suits you even better than the course last year?
Well, last year I found it a little bit beautiful. It was a little bit more straight and a little bit more uphill. So yeah, I like it. I like that more. But yeah, we will see in the race.
Eli Isabit, how do you feel about coming back to Val di Sole?
Well, it's a nice region, and the snow is beautiful, so it feels a little bit like vacation, but it's it's not a vacation. So yeah, it's nice to have a race on snow, but once is enough.
Joris Nieuwenhuis, first time Val di Sole for you. What do you think of racing in these conditions?
I really like it. For me, it has been since the juniors that I had snow on the track, so it has been a while since I did it, but I really like it. It's a lot of fun. I think that's how I'm going to approach it. Just have fun on the course, and then try to don't make a lot of mistakes.
You're working with Bart Welles this season. Did he give you any advice for riding in the snow?
I think he can give me more advice for riding in the sand.
But it feels like sand, I heard from some riders today.
Yeah, a bit the same. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, some advice I get always, but yeah, I think snow maybe I know a bit more.
What do you think of these conditions today?
It's actually crazy. Like, I didn't get a chance to ride yesterday, so that was my first look at it, and there's a lot going on. It's like, I've ridden snow at home, you know, when it snows in Scotland, you go out and play on the bikes in the driveway, but a full, 3 kilometers of it is really, really high level.
Are there some areas where you think the difference can be made?
Like every corner and every straight and every climb and every downhill, like there can be difference made everywhere. It's just, I don't think you can be, well, no one will be perfect on the full lap, so I think that's got to be taken into account. And yeah, mistakes will be made. It's just how costly are those mistakes? How can you recover from them and get back up to your race speed? So yeah, there's a lot, as I say, a lot going on.
Interesting interviews there with the riders ahead of today's race. Kevin Kuhn, of course, Swiss rider. I'm sure he can tell a few people how to ride on the snow, no doubt whatsoever. We're waiting to bring the riders forward onto the start line for this race. Remember, the men's race is, the aim is to be as close to 1 hour as possible. Here comes Eli Isabit, the World Cup leader. There's a good field of riders here. 43 riders will take to the start, but there are some notable riders missing. We don't have on the start line Pim Ronhaar. We don't have on the start line Lars van der Haar. So it's going to be an interesting race. Lawrence Swake, very much a sand specialist. Can he turn himself into a snow specialist today?
The European Championships 2023 from the Netherlands.
Very gritty on that start straight, as you can see. Has to be, and that's going to be difficult for riders. Could be danger to some tyres. The riders riding very, very low pressure. Only a few minutes until we get this race underway. Round 7 of this UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup. The victories so far this season taken by Thibaut Nys in Waterloo, Mas Mechelen, Lars van der Haar, then de Monde was Pim Ronhaar. Elizabeth took Troyes, and last time he took Flamanville, and Pim Ronhaar took the other win in Dublin. 60 metres of elevation each lap. Start to the finish line is about 65 metres, as you can see, not too far at all. Pit number 1's at 900 metres, pit 2 at 2,700. Course configuration changed from last year very slightly. You heard Michael Van Turnhout talking about that in his interview. We're almost ready for the start. We're about 3 minutes away now.
Okay.
2.5 minutes until round 7 of this Cyclo-cross World Cup is underway. There's the riders on the second row of the grid, 6 rows in total. Let's take a look at the front row then. British champion Cameron Mason, yet to break the top 6 in the World Cup. There's his tyre choice. As he said, a lot going on in this race. Michael Van Turnhout, European champion, winner last year in this World Cup. Alongside him, next rider just taking on his final gel is Ryan Camp. One top 6 in the campaign so far this year. Slightly different tyre choices for each rider. Niels van der Putte, 5th last time out, 2nd last year. Lawrence Swake, World Cup winner last year, 3 podiums so far in this campaign. Yet, I guess, to hit his real top level. It's a different tyre choice for him. Joris Nieuwenhuis, 3rd in Troyes. Elizabeth, the World Cup leader, 2 wins so far. There's his tyre choice. And the final rider on the front row of the grid, 2 6th places so far, 3rd last year here in Val di Sole. 1 minute till the race start. Paolo May, the speaker of the Giro d'Italia, in the background as he announces 1 minute till these riders get underway, and it's all going to be important through this first turn, and that second left-hander is critical. The jackets are off.
Okay, guys, 30 seconds, 30 secondi.
And the red tape is taken away. Round 7 of the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup in Val di Sole. in Italy. We're on red, we wait for green. It's go in Val di Sole, round 7 of the UCI World Cup, and a fast start in the centre. Joris Nieuwenhuis is up there, sprinting absolutely flat out for that front position. And who's going to get through it first? Oh, and they go shoulder to shoulder, and it's Nieuwenhuis who takes it, slipping and sliding, and he manages to hold it through that turn. And Nieuwenhuis comes out in the lead. Well, he said he was going to approach it, having fun, and he's having fun already. Behind him is a running race. You have to risk a little bit on this course. Nieuwenhuis went flying his way through there. Niels van der Putte in second place. A little bit of a move through in the centre. Kevin Kuhn is up there. Cameron Mason has gone from the front row of the grid to about 20th place. Look at the concentration. There's Isabit. He's looking good so far. Van Turen out behind him. A couple of places back. A few places back, actually. Lawrence Swake. But meanwhile, the pace is on. Nieuwenhuis ahead of Van der Putte in second place. Wow, that was a bit close from that person running across the course in front of Nieuwenhuis. Only Van Kessel having his best start of the season. Van Kessel in third, Kevin Kuhn in fourth, then Isabit. Behind Isabit, a couple of places back, Michael Van Turen out. Ryan Kamp is up there. And just coming through, Joran Verschoor. But it's Nieuwenhuis who's gone straight to the front. Really riding superbly, finding straight line speed. A lot of riders have opted to press the pause button on their season today. Thibaut Nace, the winner of round number 1. Well, we know that he's really struggling. He says he's completely empty. So he's taken 3 weeks off to go on training camps and try and start to feel better. Most riders will be back for Namur. Joris Nieuwenhuis is here, though, for that Baloise Trek Lions team, but the majority of that squad are not here. Thibaut Nace has gone down to Calpe in Spain to join up with the Lidl Trek team. Lars van der Haar and Pim Ronhaar have gone to Mallorca. It's been reported that this rider is going to continue all the way through non-stop until the end of the cyclocross season. And he seems to... Oh, and a fall from Nieuwenhuis. The Pals Solson team have got Isabit here, they've got Van Turen out, they've got Ryan Kamp, so they're well represented. They are going to go back to Spain after this weekend for a training camp. At the front of the race then, it's a dynamic duo of Nieuwenhuis and Van der Putte with daylight between them and the rest of the field. Looks like Kevin Kuhn is trying to make his way across. Nieuwenhuis just making a few mistakes, just with the pace maybe he's going at. Oops, look at the face of Lawrence Swake. Hitting himself in the face with the brake levers, I think. But we'll see what sort of tempo these riders get around this course at and get an idea after lap number 1 of how many laps of racing we might have. The women did 4. It'll either be 5 or 6, depending on what the commissaires decide to do. The sunshine now has gone back over the peak of the mountain. It's getting a little bit more chilly. For the concentration on the eyes of Nieuwenhuis as he just looks for what sort of area he's going to ride in. Van der Putte looks much more calm and composed. You don't get to see the eyes behind those mirrored shades. It's a bit looking good. Really puts in a bit of turn of pace up there just to test out the rest of the riders. Corny van Kessel up there. Then it's the team of Krejlan all lined out. Number 22 you can see there in the green coloured kit is Lars Sommer. He's a Swiss rider, rides for the Heisermat Rad team. With some riders missing, it's nice to be able to see some new riders up towards the front of the race. Lars Sommer in 11th place right now. Nieuwenhuis kicks on again up towards the hurdles, makes short work of those, sprints his way over the top. Making everyone really struggle. Van der Putte just slipping and sliding a little. As the riders go down one side, Nieuwenhuis is already making his way around that next section of the course. He seems to not even be concerned about the surface he's riding on. He's clearly gone in to this race with a real positive focus, an absolute forward-looking mindset that he's enjoying it. And as he said, I haven't ridden on the snow in a cyclocross race since I was a junior. And let's not forget, for those of you who don't know too much about Joris Nieuwenhuis, he was a very good junior and under-23 cyclocross rider. Went to ride on the road, rode for teams including Sunweb and Team DSM, and then decided suddenly to say, that's it, my road career's finished. I'm going to go back to cyclocross. He had his first televised cyclocross win as an elite rider just a few weeks ago. And now Nieuwenhuis is just showing what a strong rider he is. Opening up 7 seconds. He's already 27 seconds ahead of Eli Isabit. We're not even at the end of lap number 1 yet, and this rider has absolutely dominated proceedings. Thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch, at UCI_cycling, at Ant McCrossan is where you can get hold of me. If you'd like to get in touch on social media. Nieuwenhuis downhill, nice and steady through there. Nieuwenhuis just lefts and rights through this particular section. As is a bit. There's Michael van Turnhout. Coach Justin's reminded me it's Van Turnhout's 30th birthday today. Here's Nieuwenhuis coming up to the end of lap number 1. A 9-minute and 5-second lap as he went across the line. There's about 65 meters of a run-in, so he did an 8:57 lap. And there is Isabit. Isabit's got that lower centre of gravity into those turns. He's 33 seconds behind already. There's a bit crosses the line there. Behind him is Toon van den Bos, then Michael van Turnhout, Ryan Kamp, who rode yesterday in Essen. And Brooke Watts says to me that he flew to Bergamo late last night. A little bit of inside information. So Ryan Kamp having a good time so far. Niels van der Putte is unable to stay with the fast-moving Nieuwenhuis. There's a real tussle, isn't there, for these middle positions, the podium in particular. There's the gap, back to the second place rider. Van der Putte so far had a 5th place in Flamanville, 4th place in Maasmechelen. If he stayed here, it would be his best performance so far. There's taking a bit of time to get going in the snow. Swake, surprised that he's not been dominating this race. Niels van der Putte's kind of put himself into no man's land here. Here's van der Putte just winding his way up this little climb. Here's a bit we've just heard today that Mathieu van der Poel has decided to come to the cyclocross fields a week ahead of schedule, so he's going to ride the Herentals race ahead of the busy Christmas period, he said on the Alpes de Koning social media just a few moments ago. So Mathieu van der Poel back to cyclocross. Fans will be getting ready. Of course, yesterday Wout van Aert rode his first cyclocross and he won that, coming to the start line and saying that he felt the worst he'd ever felt for the start of a cyclocross season, and just dominated anyway. That was in Essen yesterday. Race situation then. Nieuwenhuis from Van der Putte, from Ellie Isabit, from Laurens Swake, Van Turnhout, Van den Bos, Verschoor, Kevin Kuhn, Ryan Kamp and Lars Sommer having a fantastic race in 10th place. Van der Putte just screeching those brakes on. It looks like Nieuwenhuis is riding on tarmac. God, look at the speed of these riders as they try and take any form of advantage into certain parts of the course. Laurens Swake going flying into that little climb. There's Corny van Kessel. Look at Swake. Just trying to throw that bike forward. Here's our leader. He's already 10 seconds ahead of the second place rider and 43 seconds ahead of Laurens Swake. This is an absolute dominant performance from Joris Nieuwenhuis. He looked like he was so focused on the start line. He went flying off the start. He wanted to get through that first turn in first place, and since then he's never looked back. Message from Drew agreeing that Nieuwenhuis is absolutely flying. Charles Rosset, thanks for joining us in the snow here in Trentino in Italy. We're very lucky to be up here at the top of the mountain in such an amazing place. It's a beautiful place. The chainsaws in the background. Such a permanent feature of the noise of mountain biking. You don't see many riders in shorts today, do you? T-Sarts, though, is. Van der Putte. His best performance last year was the second place that he got in Val di Sole. So again, he's in a great position. He doesn't mind being here in this condition. Pit crew's not too busy today. There's the distance between these two riders. Lawrence Wake now into third, 46 seconds behind. The way Nieuwenhuis is riding, he's just letting that bike slip and slide, but he's finding traction when no one else is finding it. And Swake ahead of Isabit. Isabit could really capitalise today in this World Cup by opening up that advantage. The likes of Van der Haar not being here. Van Turnhout in that little trio there. Here's a nice shot of our current leader, the ice-caked bike of the second place rider, Van der Putte. Well, let's bear in mind we are riding at 1,200 meters. We're on the snow. And Joris Nieuwenhuis's first lap was 20.09 kilometers an hour. We know in the recce some riders were struggling to ride at 10 kilometers an hour. Now the weather conditions have changed. They've changed the way this course is riding, so it's much, not easier, but it's a little easier to be able to get some forward momentum. The course has become a little bit more flattened. We're coming up to the end of lap number 2. 6 kilometers of racing completed, and Nieuwenhuis is firmly in the driving seat. Second place is Van der Putte. That was an even faster lap from Joris Nieuwenhuis, an 8:41 this time. So he's gone 8:57 and then gone 16 seconds faster. 8:41, 20.7 kilometers an hour. Van der Putte just rode 20 and a half, doing an 8:46, so just 5 seconds slower. Let's take a look at the lap times of Isabit. Almost a little shake of the head of Isabit there. Lawrence Wake looks to have got going now. Swake goes through with an 8:51 lap, so 10 seconds slower than Joris Nieuwenhuis. Amazingly, we're going to have 7 laps of racing here. The course really has changed. Nieuwenhuis, look at the way he just even broadsided that wheel, let it go off to the left-hand side, righted it, and straight back in to the work in hand. This is Van der Putte. So our top 10 at the moment: Joris Nieuwenhuis, Van der Putte, Laurens Sweeck in thirds. Behind him is Ellie Isabit, then Joran Verschoor, then Toon van den Bos. Behind them is Michael van Turnhout, then the two Swiss riders, Kevin Kuhn and Lars Sommer, and then Ryan Kamp is in 10th place. Lars Sommer having a great ride today, predominantly a mountain bike rider. He's had quite a few big results, Lars Sommer, in terms of the Olympic cross-country discipline. Only 21 years of age, and great to see him compete in this World Cup. Particularly in Switzerland, he's had a number of first places. As we look here at Van der Putte. Into this little section, which is now becoming a little bit more rideable for these riders. Lars Sommer's finished twice in World Cup podiums, not in this discipline, of course. Good to see him up here in the top 10. It's always good to see the arrival of another rider in the World Cup scene. Just a reminder then, our fastest lap, Joris Nieuwenhuis, 8:41.8. Van der Putte's fastest lap at 8:46.7. Sweeck's an 8:51. Joran Verschoor 8:57. Ellie Isabit, 9:01 for Isabit, his fastest lap. Michael van Turnhout a 9:04. Toon van den Bos a 9:05 so far.
Rimane saldamente al comando, grande freschezza, grande conduzione del mezzo e anche quello che ha guidato.
Camera shot gives you an idea of just the sort of surface these riders are facing each lap. The tyre choice of Nieuwenhuis today, though, has been absolutely perfect. I'm sure his Baloise Trek Lions teammates will be cheering him on. Lars van der Haar and the others from a lot warmer Mallorca. But there aren't too many better places to ride your bike in the world than Mallorca at this time of year. Getting themselves ready for the next assault on the season as we go into Namur and Antwerp and then into the World Championships, as Sweeck just has a tumble. Isabit has the same. It's amazing to watch these riders and how they're falling, where Nieuwenhuis is just riding through these turns.
E poi arriva il gruppetto dietro e sbagliano di più, però ogni sbaglio sono secondi che si ritrova in saccoccia in Olympics, quindi diciamo che per come adesso può già pensare di controllare il passo che ha lui.
There's Nieuwenhuis, far left-hand side of the shot as we look. He won the World Championship Under-23 Cyclo-cross title in Bielis in 2017. On that day, he beat Felipe Orts of Spain into second and Sieben Wouters of the Netherlands into third place. It was the day in which Great Britain had an emotional 1-2-3 with Pidcock beating Dan Tullett and Ben Turner into third place. And the women's elite race was won by Sanne Kant and the men's elite race was won by Wout van Aert. So Nieuwenhuis, he's no stranger to the World Cup cyclocross circuit, as we've mentioned a few times before. But he's come back to this now. On the road, he was a fantastic rider. He rode the Tour de France on a couple of occasions. Finished third in Paris Tour, which gave an indication of his ability, of course, on off-road sections. Paris Tour now has off-road sections. But Nieuwenhuis rode more as a domestique-style rider, looking after some of his team leaders, particularly in the Tour de France. And then he just decided, let's pack this in and let's go back to a discipline I love. So far this season, Nieuwenhuis has finished 4th in Flamanville, 3rd in Troyes. He had a 4th place in Waterloo right at the start of the season. This is Verschoor, who's now put himself into 3rd place. If we go back in the history of Nieuwenhuis, he's finished and won the under-23 World Cup, and on the season he did so in the 2017 season. He took wins in Zeven, in Namur, in Hoostenzolder and in Hoogerheide. Gives you an indication of the class of this rider to win the under-23 race in Namur and Hoogerheide. Just shows you how strong he is, and he was the world champion in that season. Everything went perfectly to plan. As he comes round to the end of lap number 3, just checking the bike a little bit. End of lap 3, Joris Nieuwenhuis after 9 kilometres with a formidable lead. He's just done an even faster lap. 8:32 for Nieuwenhuis that time. He just seems to be riding this course completely differently to everyone else. Incredibly, Van der Putte has decided to take his gloves off. 29 seconds down for Van der Putte, an 8:47 lap. Nieuwenhuis is now up over 21 kilometers an hour as his average speed on this course. This is impressive. Here's this little tussle that's going on between Isabit, Van Turnhout and Laurens Sweeck. Crossing the line. This is a great performance by Verschoor. Here's Isabit and Van Turnhout working well together to try and get somewhere near this podium place, because Verschoor is just riding away now. They just don't seem to be able to find the speed that this man is able to find.
Last year was on the podium.
Che ancora era il mio outsider, diciamo, non è comunque lontano.
Nieuwenhuis finds even more power. There's Van der Putte taking the gloves off. Some riders prefer just to have that feeling of the bare hands on the brake levers. And sometimes you get almost claustrophobia when you're riding with gloves on, when you're getting hotter and hotter. A few other hellos. Thanks for your messages on social media. Colin Frieden, hello to you, and Joseph Piscitello. Thank you very much for your messages. Colin, do the riders have special pedals for cross? There's various different choices that these riders have. Some of the SPD styles. But they can generally clip in both sides, which means they just stamp on the pedals and it makes it easier. They don't have to flip the pedal up like you do on the road sometimes. Just look at the tempo this rider is finding. It's absolutely incredible to watch. It's like he's gone out and just chosen a different course to everyone else. 21.07 kilometers an hour is average speed on his laps. Let's take someone like Eli Isabit, the World Cup leader. His fastest lap is only 19.93 kilometers an hour. The top 6 fastest laps now are Nieuwenhuis, Joran Verschoor, Niels van der Putte, Timon Rugg, and now Cameron Mason. Van der Putte holding on to his 2nd place. Let's pick through some other riders for you as we get to this wall that the riders have to face each lap. Now no snow on it. Made short work of that one. First place for the Netherlands for Joris Nieuwenhuis. The next 5 places taken by Belgians. Van der Putte, Verschoor, Van Turnhout, Isabit, Sweek and Van den Bos. Kevin Kuhn is now in 8th place. Ryan Kamp in 9th. Looking for a contract at the end of this this next couple of weeks. Lars Sommer still in 10th place. 2nd Swiss rider, ahead of Timon Rugg now in 11th, riding for the same team. And then Cameron Mason has made a bit of a move. He's now in 12th, but maybe not having the race he would have anticipated, having started on the front row of the grid.
2001 il 9 gennaio, dunque prossimo al compimento dei suoi primi 24 anni, mentre
4 laps of racing to go. This is Sweek, 6th place for him. Nieuwenhuis's lead now 33 seconds on Van der Putte, 1:08 on Joran Verschoor. Michael van Turnhout is 20 seconds behind Joran Verschoor. Kicking his way over that climb, Niels van der Putte.
Abbiamo il passaggio in zona controllo per Cameron Mason che è ancora 12esimo.
Nieuwenhuis comes round to the hurdles. The course seems to be getting easier and easier to ride in terms of its traction. For the women, it was so difficult. We won't give away the result, but it was so hard to find any momentum on the course at that time. Kurt Keeler, hello to you. Thanks for joining us for the men's race. So far this season then, we've seen wins for the majority of the victories taken by the Baloise Trek Lions. The only change in that has been Isabit riding for the Paul Sauser Bingoal team in Troyes and Flamanville. But if this continues, it's going to be yet another win for Baloise Trek Lions. We've had 4 wins out of 6 so far. Nieuwenhuis just kicking his way over that little climb, letting the bike now slide its way downhill. Choosing to wear the clear shade so we can see the light nice and easily. As we take a look here at Isabit coming to a complete standstill on that turn. Lap 4 of 7 in Val di Sole. Let's pick out some other nations for you. The first Italian is Federico Chiellin at 16th place. Corny van Kessel now down in 18th place. A few Italian riders taking part in today's racing. Antonio Folcarelli in 22nd. Augustinaccio in 23rd and Gioli Bertolini down in 24th. The top lap times then, Nieuwenhuis, Verschoor, as Nieuwenhuis comes round again to complete lap number 4. And he's looking so composed. Goes even faster that lap, an 8:31, another 1 second faster on lap 4. Picks up his average speed to 21.1 kilometers an hour, so he's not relenting. He's not slowing down in any way. Van der Putter's got 9:07, 8:46, 8:47. We'll see what this lap brings. Kicks his way back onto the finish straight. He's got some time in hand, around about 20 seconds on the 3rd place rider. So he needs to keep pushing. Takes his gel out from the leg of his shorts there. An 8:47 lap last time, an 8:49 this time. So he's gone quite consistent now, 8:46, 8:47, 8:49. This is Joran Verschoor. He's just gone 8:28. Wow, the fastest lap of the race so far from Joran Verschoor. 21.25 kilometers an hour for Joran Verschoor. Slightly faster than Joris Nieuwenhuis by 3 seconds on that lap. That's impressive from Verschoor, who's trying to consolidate his 3rd place. Michael van Turnhout has just gone fast as well with his fastest lap of the race, 20.96 kilometers an hour. And Lawrence Swake has just done his fastest lap of the race as well. The course is starting to become more and more rideable. Crossing the line there, Kevin Kuhn and Ryan Camp. Nieuwenhuis then has gone 8:57, 8:41, 8:32, 8:31. Verschoor has gone 9:40, 8:57, 8:41, 8:28. Isabit's gone 9:31, 9:01, 9:02, 8:48. So Isabit not finding the speed on this course at all. Cameron Mason has just turned in an 8:45 lap to put himself in 12th and now hunting down 11th. Nieuwenhuis has had a solo ride today. No one for company at all. It's the way he wanted it. He clearly went out with a plan, and he's now putting that plan firmly into action. Up to the top of that climb, Van der Putter comes down to the bottom of it. When you look at Van der Putter, he never really changes in the look of him, does he? On any part of the lap, it's just very relaxed, very consistent. Those blue shades shining with the snow in them. But he just looks quite chilled out the way he rides. He's holding that gap to this rider, Joran Verschoor, who's heading to his best place ever in a World Cup. For sure this season hasn't even been in the top 6. Oh no, he has. He was 4th in Dublin, my apologies. I thought we'd seen him in the top places. I was just trying to remember. 4th in Dublin behind Isabit, Sweek and Ronhart. Right now, he's heading towards his best place ever in a World Cup. The previous one was in Dublin. But this rider hasn't changed the way he's riding at all, is he? Just look at the focus in those eyes. There's days when bike riders just have the day that they've been searching for, where all the training pays off, where they just feel like they are in motion, where everything is silent, where everything is just absolutely on point. And that's what's happening to Joris Nieuwenhuis today. Everything is just flowing, it's just in motion. Just look at the relaxation in the shoulders as we go back to Van der Putte, and you'll get an idea from the side of what I've been meaning. Whereas other riders look like they're tense, Joris Nieuwenhuis just looks like everything is just gliding. It's just flow, it's just motion, it's just momentum. To the hurdles, nice and easily over those. Coming up towards the end of lap 5, 2 more laps to go. Van der Putte is able to just glance across and see where Verschoor is. Here comes Michael van Turnhout, the European champion. Lying now in 4th place, was the winner last time. Van Turnhout just hasn't had the season he's looking for in these World Cups. It's quite incredible that Van Turnhout so far this season has only had 1 top 6 in the World Cup. And now, look at this. How impressive. Verschoor's decided it's time to bunny hop the hurdles. That just shows how this course is changing. Nieuwenhuis just takes the foot out the pedals, makes his way around that left-hander. These riders just spaced out across this course today. No real peloton to talk of. It's just every rider for themselves against the elements. Take a little look at this replay, and a fall. Like Toon van den Bos just hitting the deck. Nieuwenhuis comes up to complete lap number 5 in this round 7 of the UCI World Cup Cyclo-cross. And he has significant margin to play with. Nieuwenhuis goes through another 8:31 lap, matches his fastest lap so far. Now that consistency of effort comes into play. Van der Putte, he's under a little bit of pressure from Joran Verschoor behind, who's hitting some pretty fast laps. Nieuwenhuis just needs another lap like that to consolidate the lead, and then a nice last lap celebration. Niels van der Putte comes in. End of his lap. Van der Putte rides through with an 8:27 lap from Niels van der Putte. He goes faster than Nieuwenhuis. And indeed, he goes into first place as far as the fastest laps is concerned. Van der Putte with 21.28 kilometers an hour now. This is Joran Verschuur in third place. An 8:36 lap, 8 seconds slower that time. So he's not closing in now on Van der Putte. Van der Putte, 8:27 for a lap. You'd love to be that relaxed on a bike, wouldn't you, and be flowing your way around the course like this. Two more laps of racing to go. The fastest lap so far, Van der Putte ahead of Verschuur now in second. 8:27.5, 8:28.2. Joris Nieuwenhuis in third. Then Michael van Turnhout, then Cameron Mason with the fifth fastest lap. And here's this fight between these riders, Camp Kuhn and Toon van den Bos. They're the 7th, 8th and 9th place riders. The riders behind that leading trio just not matching their lap times. Isabit, for example, on that lap, Isabit was 18 seconds slower than Joris Nieuwenhuis. Around that turn to the sounds of the chainsaws again. Van der Putte, are those hands getting cold? Does he wish that he'd never taken those gloves off? Joran Verschuur, he needs 28 seconds to get into second place. But this would be the biggest moment of his career. And Joris Nieuwenhuis, as far as an elite rider is concerned, this would be his crowning moment of his career so far. A little kick of the back wheel for Van der Putte, who's enjoying this course now. Well, thanks again for all the messages at @McCrossnat UCI_cycling. Don't forget, after the racing, you can always go back and revisit on social media some of the highlights of the race on the UCI channel is where you can get hold of those little bits of highlights if you need something else to watch during the week before the next round of the World Cup, which will be next weekend in Namur. On the Citadel, as always. Michael van Turnhout enjoying his birthday. Maybe not as much as he did last year. Last year he was so confident in this snow. This year just hasn't quite got the speed.
Un vantaggio, una sicurezza nei primi 4 la fa tutti in bici e prima sbagliavano un po' tutti se non erano da soli, quindi
For those of you who missed it, Mathieu van der Poel is coming back to racing 1 week earlier than we anticipated.
soli riescono a fare questo passaggio che prima sembrava veramente così difficile. Adesso hanno trovato sia la velocità che la linea giusta per farlo e sono passati indegni. Chiaramente adesso
Nieuwenhuis, I don't think he's been into the pits today. Comes up to the hurdles again. Most riders choosing just to run over them safely. Don't have any problems. Joran Verschuur is choosing to jump them. He's keeping things going well. I'm looking forward, if this rider can continue like this, to his interview at the finish. Because for Nieuwenhuis, this is a massive moment. Remember, an hour of racing is where we need to get to, just about as close as we can get. We're not far away from the end of the penultimate lap now. Moves over to the right-hand side, gets up over that little bridge section. Just got to be careful not to have a little problem, a little fall or something like that that costs him a lot of time. Van der Putte now firmly in second place. He's really opened the gap up on Verschoor this time. Looks to me like Van der Putte is crossing this course really nicely on the penultimate lap. Here's Cameron Mason. He's making his way in towards the top 10 now, the British champion. Perhaps not the race he was looking for. He started on the front row of the grid, which was a big opportunity for him. If he can get himself into the top 10, that would be a good performance from him today, but we're not seeing a podium-style finish as Nieuwenhuis starts to catch more riders in front of him and lap them. Catches Simone Pederiva. He turns the corner for the penultimate time. 18 kilometers covered. One more lap and a date with his first ever World Cup win ahead. Joris Nieuwenhuis crosses the line that time. Niels van der Putte not too far behind. Here comes Niels van der Putte. He's going to be 43 seconds behind. That was a very fast lap from Joris Nieuwenhuis, an 8:24 lap, so he really has put the pressure on again. He's just ramped it up with the fastest lap of the race so far. 21.42 kilometers an hour from Nieuwenhuis. It didn't look like he'd ramped it up, but he certainly has. Here's our third place rider. This is Joran Verschoor. His fastest lap was on lap 4. Niels van der Putte has also just ridden his fastest lap of the race, an 8:27. Verschoor's fastest lap on lap number 4. This is Michael van Turnhout, who's now in 4th place. Van Turnhout. This is going to be his best performance of the season in the World Cup so far. The form is starting to build. Last season, Joris Nieuwenhuis finished 3rd in Besançon. This year has been his year of really emerging at the top of elite World Cups. Nieuwenhuis, 4th place in Waterloo, 3rd place in Troyes, 4th place in Flamanville, But this final lap, I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of thoughts going through his head. He's now 50 seconds ahead. He was so pleased and proud to have won his first televised cyclocross a few weeks ago. This one's going to be very, very different. 27 years of age now. The final time up this wall. Shoulders the bike this time, so a little bit more tired. Just couldn't find the momentum into that little section.
Era sempre Ceolin, dato il 16ª posizione, che dimostra andando. Vediamo se si riesce a ribaltare buonissimo, buonissimo risultato.
For the Swiss rider, and he is followed by, vediamo da chi è seguito, forse da Anton Ferdinand, che è una dritta belga, vediamo.
Van der Putte looks like he's just consolidated his position pretty nicely now. He's 37 seconds of Joran Verschoor, so Verschoor just needs to keep pushing on. Van Turnhout is making a little bit of a move behind, but I don't think he can catch him.
Ricordiamo poi che c'è anche il discorso un po' del distacco, no? L'80%.
Look at the way he's tracking this bike.
Quando hai quel distacco lì vieni fermato.
Just has got this course so well measured compared to everyone else today. Pure concentration.
Seguito da Stan Godfrey e da Chris Horst. 4:48 il ritardo di questi atleti, 4:41 il gap invece di Federico Ceolin, che si dimostra il più completo in questa corsa sulla via. Il ritardo di Van der Putte guadagna 3 secondi, attenzione, guadagna 3 secondi.
Out the saddle again for Nieuwenhuis, just kicking the bike a little bit more, just finding traction on every single twist and turn. Just to pick out some other riders for you on that crossing of the line, the top 10 were Nieuwenhuis, Van der Putte, Verschoor, Van Turnhout, Eli Isabit, Lawrence Wake, Kevin Kuhn, Ryan Camp, Timon Rug. Behind them was Van den Bos, then Cameron Mason, and Lars Sommer now has dropped down into 12th place. Over the hurdles for the final time. Michael Van Turnhout had that problem with his shoulder a few weeks ago. Still being hunted down here by Eli Isabit, who knows that he just needs as many points as possible for this World Cup leaders jersey.
Spero che qualche italiano riesca a recuperare qualche posizione, sono lì abbastanza stabili, l'22esimo Zuccarelli e l'23esimo Bustinati. Vediamo, ha perso Bertolini che è passato l'21esimo.
Powers his way along this section.
Quando problema più qualcuno è fattibile, è difficile ma fattibile.
Keeps the pressure on through that left-hander now. Just lets the bike slide a little bit round that turn. Rights himself again. Kicks his way up over that little bridge. We're coming to the end of round 7 of the World Cup. Van der Putte just measuring his effort now. I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of thoughts going through his mind. But Joris Nieuwenhuis is going to get what he's been searching for. His first ever World Cup win as an elite rider.
vederlo sembra molto attrattivo e tornando forte. Infatti è uno stile particolare, molto stato però sta facendo la stessa velocità del primo, quindi sono due stili un po' diversi.
Lauren Verschoor, though, he's also going to finish on the podium. This is a fantastic performance by him today. The final lap of racing, it's all the sevens. 7th lap of 7 on round 7. And Nieuwenhuis is nearly there. He's going to get ready for the victory in Val di Sole. It's a big moment for this rider. Nieuwenhuis of the Baloise Trek Lions making his way to this final turn. This rider has been an under-23 world champion, but he's never won a round of the World Cup. It's joy for Joris Nieuwenhuis in Val di Sole. Nieuwenhuis nails it in the snow. His first ever World Cup win. Niels van der Putte, second place last year in the snow. Clearly it's his conditions. It's joy for Joris here on the finish line as he goes to get ready for the interviews. There was never anyone else in sight today. Van der Putte making his way down to these final turn into the finish. Clearly is at home in the snow because this rider finished second last year and again he's going to finish second. Niels van der Putte puts himself on the podium in Val di Sole for the second time. Second place for Niels van der Putte. Gets his gloves back. And his first podium, Joran Verschoor of the Crelan Corendon team. That will be feeling like a victory. Third place for Joran Verschoor, a fantastic performance from him here in Italy. He's done it.
Molto bene, adesso anche Marco ha fatto un'altra quarta posizione, ma ci sarà uno sprint per la quinta posizione perché li vedo.
Last year's winner, Michael van Turnhout, comes round the turn into fourth place. And in fifth place for Isabit. Sixth place for Lawrence Swake. Isabit needed as many points as possible. Lawrence Swake would have been named, I think, as one of the race favourites for today with the amount of power you need in the snow. Here comes Kevin Kuhn. He'll finish in 7th place. Behind him is going to be his compatriot Timon Rugg. Then it's Ryan Camp in 9th place. Toon van den Bos rounds out the top 10. 11th place for the British champion Cameron Mason.
Cameron Mason, 15ª posizione, 3 minuti top 10 in Coppa del Mondo di Cyclo-cross, un distacco pesante però.
12th place here is Lars Sommer. Great performance from him. Great to see him in this World Cup. But it was all about this man, Joris Nieuwenhuis. Takes the win in Val di Sole. Second place for Niels van der Putte. And Joran Verschoor in 3rd place. Coming in then in 12th place for Lars Sommer.
Le gare prossime
This is Anton Fernandez. Comes in to get 13th place today. Here's Michael Van Turnhout.
Last year, what made it so difficult today?
Yeah, it was difficult to pass the other riders, and I think in the first 2 laps I made too many mistakes to come in the front, and yeah, I think after 2 laps there was a gap of 40 seconds, and yeah, I had not today the legs to fight for the win, but yeah, fourth is not so bad at all.
The start was tricky, and it was quite obvious that Joris Nieuwenhuis was very strong from the first corners. Did you ever feel like you could get closer today?
No, I think after 2 corners he was maybe 10 seconds away, so I think he deserved the win today, and yeah, for me the 3rd place was the highest possible.
No podium today, but still, 30th birthday. Can you celebrate that in style?
Yeah, it was a beautiful day to race in the snow, so yeah, maybe tonight you have a little party, but tomorrow we go to Spain. We have an early flight tomorrow, so yeah, it will be early in the bed tonight.
Even de Nederlander ook, Michael Van Turnhout. Je was voor deze cross de grote favoriet. Winnaar vorig jaar, het jaar daarvoor het ook heel goed gedaan. Heb je er een verklaring voor waarom het vandaag toch iets moeizamer ging?
Ja, ik denk dat ik mij in het begin van de cross iets te veel liet doen. Ik was eigenlijk wel goed gestart en ik denk achter 2 bochten zat ik eigenlijk al direct veel te ver om direct mee te zijn. En ja, ik denk dat Joris vandaag wel de beste was, als je ziet dat hij ja, heel de cross eigenlijk al zijn voorsprong verder uitbouwt. Dus ja, de verdiende winnaar.
Wat maakt het zo moeilijk om in het begin ook wat afstand te proberen nemen of om voorbij andere rijders te geraken?
Ja, het is eigenlijk maar één perfect padje waar je echt kunt opblijven. En ja, als je dan iemand direct voor je rijden hebt, is het moeilijk om dat spoor te volgen. En ja, toen dat ik plots op de 4e plaats alleen kwam, dan kon ik wel mijn eigen lijn een beetje kiezen. Maar ja, 4e was wel het hoogst haalbare.
Geen overwinning, geen podium op je 30e verjaardag. Is het toch een dag waar je mee kan leven?
Ja, toch wel. Sowieso is het een mooie cross om hier te zijn. En ja, 4e is natuurlijk ook niet zo slecht. Ja.
En nu op stage, een beetje recupereren, of veel trainen vooral?
Ja, een beetje heel veel trainen, denk ik. Ik heb wat achterstand opgelopen met die blessure en hopelijk kan ik mij herlanceren richting de kerstperiode. Ja.
Veel succes dan. Dankjewel.
Michael Van Turnhout. He can enjoy his birthday tonight, I'm sure. And then a little trip down to Spain for some warm weather training. It's going to be a considerable change from here. We're getting ready for the podium presentation. We're going to hear from some more of the riders. Here's our winner.
What an impressive win. Was it as easy as it looked?
No. I mean, my style is always that it looks easy on TV, but of course I'm suffering as well. And I just had to stay really focused and concentrated. And then I knew that I could do a good job because the form is good and I feel good on the bike. And I think that was important today.
Where did that good feeling come from?
Sorry?
Where did that good feeling come from?
Yeah, I don't know. I always, from when I was young, I did BMX as a kid, and I think that really helped me today to stay calm, stay easy, and to have the technique to do this course.
Congratulations. In het Nederlands. Joris Nieuwenhuis, wat een exploot. Je kan een cross winnen, maar dit was gewoon uitpakken eigenlijk. Was het zo gemakkelijk als het eruit zag?
Nee, absoluut niet. Nee, natuurlijk. Mijn stijl is dat het makkelijk lijkt. Alleen van binnen ben ik echt wel aan het afzien natuurlijk. En ik wist wel, als ik als eerste die eerste bocht in ga, dan scheelt het al zoveel. Dat wanneer je achter iemand zit, ga je altijd meer fouten maken. Kun je niet je eigen lijnen rijden. En ik had als doel gewoon zo goed mogelijk starten. En dan proberen zo snel mogelijk mijn eigen lijnen te kunnen rijden. Goed focussen. En ja, dat heb ik gedaan.
Volgens je ploegleider Erik Braas had je gisteren ook al een geweldig gevoel toen je hier aan het rondrijden was. Waar komt dat geweldige gevoel vandaan? Gewoon in het algemeen en hier in deze omstandigheden?
Ja, ik voelde me gisteren eigenlijk meteen goed. Maar ik heb hier vorig jaar, andere jaren niet gereden. Dus ik kon het niet vergelijken. En ik kon het ook niet vergelijken met andere renners. Dus ik had geen idee hoe dat ging zijn in de wedstrijd. Maar ik heb wel het idee dat het echt nog van vroeger vanuit de BMX komt. Dat ik al die jaren heb gebMX'd als kleine jongen. En dat het hier wel helpt.
Wanneer wist je, het is binnen?
Laatste ronde. Je moet je zo erg concentreren. Als je helemaal gaat denken aan winnen of gaat denken aan andere dingen, dan ga je echt veel fouten maken. Dus het was echt gewoon tot en met dat ik op het asfalt reed, concentreren en daarna genieten.
Je had al gewonnen in de Superprestige, nu ook in de Wereldbeker. Wat betekent dit voor jou?
Ja, voor mij eigenlijk wel veel. Niet per se dat ik... hoe zeg ik dat ik een goede keuze heb gemaakt de afgelopen jaren. En ik ben heel blij met die keuze. En ik zit gewoon goed in mijn vel. En dan is dit het resultaat, denk ik.
Dikke proficiat nog eens. Ja. Dankjewel.
Joris Nieuwenhuis reflecting on his victory today. He just went out from the first pedal stroke and tried to win this race. Absolute focus and attention. Attributing some of his success to his BMX background when he was a kid. You could just see, he just let the bike flow today. There was no stress in that body. It was all about gliding around this course. He looked absolutely fantastic. Look at the way he's just kicking that back wheel, letting the bike do what it needs to do, not fighting it, just finding speed, more speed than anyone else.
Niels van der Putten, spot on the podium again in Val di Sole. How was it out there?
Yeah, tough. It was a very, very tough race. It was physically tougher than last year, and I felt like technically it was tougher as well. The circumstances were just completely different, but it was still a beautiful race in my opinion.
When did you know Joris Nieuwenhuis was just too strong today?
Yeah, in the first lap I felt like I could keep the same pace as him, but I had a bad second lap, I think, making too many mistakes, just not really riding on the level you have to ride on to battle for the win. And then I just tried to be as consistent as possible, but I just felt that he was a bit too strong today, sadly.
Congratulations. In het Nederlands, Niels van der Putten opnieuw op het podium hier in Val di Sole. Geef jouw verhaal eens van deze cross.
Ja, inderdaad opnieuw tweede. Goede start. Tweede weg. Joris legde direct een heel hoog tempo op. En ik merkte dat ik heel even moest bekomen van de lange startstrook toch. En hij kon direct een klein gaatje slagen, maar iets verder kwam ik er terug bij. Maar toen begon ik wat fouten te maken en Joris kon terug wegrijden. En ik kon niet sneller rijden dan Joris om dat gat terug toe te rijden. En het is even zo wat blijven hangen, maar uiteindelijk was Joris iets te sterk vandaag. En moet ik vrede nemen met de tweede plaats.
Ja, want je bleef wel een hele tijd eigenlijk rond die 14, 15 seconden van Nieuwenhuis hangen. Wanneer wist je definitief, hier ga ik niet meer bij geraken?
Er waren echt een paar ronden dat ik technisch niet op niveau reed. En dat was ook het moment dat het gat groter werd. En om dan sneller te gaan rijden op de rechtstukken en in de bochten dan Joris Nieuwenhuis, die daar toch duidelijk dik in orde was. Dat is heel moeilijk. Ik ben blijven rijden, maar het gat werd niet kleiner. Dus dan moest ik vrede nemen met de tweede plaats.
Wel opnieuw een tweede plaats. Welk gevoel hou je hier nu aan over?
Als ik heel eerlijk mag zijn, kwam ik echt naar hier met gedacht om mee te doen voor winst. En ik heb toch nooit echt in de positie gezeten om mee te doen voor winst. Dus op dit ogenblik ben ik misschien nog een beetje teleurgesteld. Maar ik denk straks dat ik eens dat een beetje allemaal bezinkt, dat ik wel tevreden ga zijn met de tweede plaats.
En het is opnieuw een resultaat waar je op kan bouwen.
Ja, sowieso. Ik heb het gevoel dat de laatste weken mijn vorm met de week beter wordt. En ik hoop die te kunnen doortrekken richting de kerstperiode. Dat gaat een heel drukke periode worden. En ik ga proberen in zoveel mogelijk wedstrijden dit niveau te halen. En hopelijk misschien nog een paar keer mee te doen voor het podium.
Dankjewel, proficiat en heel veel succes in die periode.
Niels van der Putten, his second lap costing him the distance compared to Joris Nieuwenhuis today, but Nieuwenhuis was just head and shoulders above everyone today. There was no doubt who the winner was going to be, was there? Fantastic performance by Nieuwenhuis. We're waiting for the podium presentation. Love these shots alongside the riders, just to get an idea of how much they're having to really put the pressure on to keep the momentum going.
Joran Wieseuren, what a race. Third place. I see a big smile here.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the race today. It was my first time I rode on the snow, and it was a nice feeling. In the weekend I had a lot of crashes, but in the race I ride with confidence, and I think I ride a technically good race, so I'm really happy today.
Did you surprise yourself today?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't know what I could expect, yeah. But it was nice. I really enjoyed the race, and I'm really happy with my performance today.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joran Wieseuren, derde plaats op het podium in een wereldbekercross hier in Val di Sole. Ja, ik zie een hele grote glimlach. Welk gevoel hou jij over aan deze derde plaats?
Ja, super. Ik ben enorm content vandaag. Ik had vooraf niet durven hopen om hier op het podium te staan. In Dublin was ik ook al vierde. Maar ja, ik ben enorm content dat ik naar hier afgezakt ben. En ik hoop hier alleszins nog terug te komen.
Heb je jezelf verrast vandaag?
Ja, zeker en vast. Het was natuurlijk ook wel een sterk deelnemersveld. Ja, blijft de wereldbeker. Het was ook een verraderlijk lastig parcours. Het was redelijk glad, zeker met ijs ook. Maar ja, ik ben enorm content met wat ik vandaag gepresteerd heb.
Hoe heb je dat eigenlijk gedaan? Want ineens had je 15, 20 seconden voorsprong op een groepje waar jij de hele tijd bij aan het rijden was, dat voor die derde plaats aan het vechten was.
Ja, dat klopt. Mijn start was eigenlijk niet zo supergoed. Maar ik denk dat ik in de eerste bocht eigenlijk helemaal buitenom een goede beslissing genomen heb. En al direct veel plaats heb kunnen opschuiven. En dan heb ik gewoon echt mijn eigen tempo gereden de hele tijd. En achter niemand gekeken eigenlijk. En proberen op te schuiven waar dat kon. En ik denk dat ik gewoon een perfecte wedstrijd gereden heb. Naar mijn eigen tempo, constant kunnen rijden. Dus dat was het voornaamste.
Vierde plaats in Dublin, hier derde. Leg je de lat voor jezelf dan ook hoger voor de crossen die er nog aankomen?
Ja, ik probeer gewoon elk weekend zo goed mogelijk te presteren. Ik denk dat ik wel redelijk goed bezig ben momenteel. Ik heb al enkele top 10 plaatsen nu in de wereldbeker, met nu een derde en een vierde plaats ook. Dus we zien wel wat er nog komt. Ik ga eerst genieten van deze podiumplaats en we zien wel wat de toekomst brengt.
Dikke proficiat nog eens. Dankjewel.
Joran Wieseuren, his first podium finish. We wait then for the podium presentation with Wieseuren, Van der Putten, Nieuwenhuis. It's always great to see the emergence of these riders when they get their first podiums, their first places. Look at the light over this mountain now. Here's Ellie
You knew it was going to be difficult today, but what's the feeling after this race?
I think for me satisfied. It was case for me to not crash or crash hard, so I scored some points and I had a decent feeling. I think I was pretty strong on the pavement, but the snowy conditions are really not my thing. But I think I did a really good race with this snowy circuit.
So I can say this is the best possible result for you in these kind of conditions.
Yeah, well, the best maybe I would like to have to be on the podium, but top 5 is also good. So we're looking forward to next weekend in Namen. It's really a hard race, so we keep going.
Elie Iserbiet, je zei op voorhand al dat het niet gemakkelijk ging zijn vandaag. Dat is ook gebleken natuurlijk, maar welk gevoel hebben jullie over aan deze cross?
Ja, al bij al goed eigenlijk. Ik had mij voorgenomen om niet te proberen hard te vallen en punten te sprokkelen. Ik had graag op het podium gestaan, maar dat was niet mogelijk. Maar op de stukken waar ik power kon zetten, voelde ik me wel heel sterk. En ik denk dat ik daar nog net de jongens achter mij afhoud. Maar het is een beetje... Ik zei het echt cholen en ik heb veel cholen vandaag.
Waarom heb je veel moeten cholen vandaag?
Ja, het is mijn ding niet echt. Van spoor naar spoor. En ik heb liever een beetje plek om een beetje te zigzaggen. Maar nu, ja... Allee, het was wel tof, maar voor één keer is het goed.
Kan je er dan ook mee leven dat je voor een keer niet op het podium staat?
Ja, ik denk het wel. Ik had graag op het podium gestaan, maar Joris en Niels waren heel snel weg. En Joran was dan toch een stuk beter. Dus die man hem verdient een goede wedstrijd gereden, dus chapeau voor hen.
Dankjewel.
Ellie is a bit 5th place for him today. Not his sort of conditions. That World Cup leaders jersey is what he wants. Here's confirmation of today's result. Joris Nieuwenhuis wins in just over 1 hour. Niels van der Putten second for the second year running. Joran Vasura in 3rd place at 1 minute 33, with the World Cup leader in 5th place. Here's the standings. Ellie Isabit extends his lead now, 208 points ahead of Pim Ronhaar on 153. So 55 points now the advantage. That's good news for Isabit. Joris Nieuwenhuis down in 4th on 142 after today. Time to tidy up this course, and we wait for the podium presentation now. The fans getting ready to welcome the riders. Don't forget to join us next week in Namur for round number 8. Christmas period means there's a lot of cyclocross races. And here come the riders for the podium presentation. So we have Namur next weekend. The following weekend we have Antwerp, and then of course on Boxing Day we go to Gavert.
Qualche istante per la cerimonia di premiazione ufficiale di questa 7ª prova di Coppa del Mondo di Ciclocross a Vermiglio, Val di Sole, Italia. Pochi istanti, restate con noi. Bravo.
The riders are ready. It's got a lot cooler now up here.
Ik ga dan straks na het volkslied even een selfie zo vragen. En dan moet je nog
Last few bits of instruction before we get this podium presentation going.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention for the award ceremony.
We're ready now for the podium presentation.
Here in Vermiglio, Val di Sole. category Man Elite.
Here's our podium in Val di Sole.
Ladies and gentlemen, in third place, representing Belgium, and for the team Cleland Corridon, Joran Visure. The flowers and the trophy.
His first time on the podium.
Francesca Gerosa, Vice President of the Autonomous Province of Trento. Signore e signori, il vostro applauso per il terzo classificato Joran Visure. And now, in second place, representing Belgium, and for the team Alves in de Koning, Niels van de Putte.
He enjoys this place. 2 podium finishes in 2 years.
Vice President of the Autonomous Province of Trento. Ancora una volta è Francesca Gerosa a consegnare l'omaggio floreale e il premio per il secondo classificato.
Second place for Niels van der Putte.
Secondo classificato dal Belgio, Niels van de Putte. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the winner today in Vermiglio, Val di Sole, for the category Man Elite, representing the Netherlands, and for the team Baloise Track Lions, Joris Nieuwenhuis.
Joris Nieuwenhuis.
A consegnare il premio, l'omaggio floreale, ancora una volta Francesca Gerosa, vicepresidente della
His
provincia
first
autonoma di Trento.
Elite World Cup win.
Signore e signori, il vostro applauso per il vincitore di giornata, Joris Nieuwenhuis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of our winner, we play the national anthem of the Netherlands. Joris Nieuwenhuis, Niels van de Putte, Joran Visure, questo è il podio fantastico qui a Vermiglio. Adesso è tempo di
Our
brindisi.
podium in Val di Sole. And now for the celebration of our top 3.
Finale stellare qui a Vermiglio, in Val di Sole, per questa settima prova di Coppa del Mondo. Ladies and gentlemen, a big applause for Joris Nieuwenhuis, Niels van de Putte, Joran Visure. Congratulations!
Time to celebrate here in the snow. There's our final photographs on our podium.
2023 qui in Val di Sole per Niels van de Putte, che va a ripetere la seconda posizione dello scorso anno per Joran Visure.
Time for the selfie.
C'è anche tempo per un selfie. Alziamo le mani al cielo là dietro e questo è il podio di Vermiglio 2023.
Selfie of the top 3. That will be on social media later. Don't forget you can catch up on highlights on social media throughout the week. Stunning colours above Val di Sole now.
And now we call upon Mr. Cordiano Danioni, the president of the Italian Cycling Federation, to present the leader.
Let's take a look at the highlights of today's race. 43 riders off the start line. Look at Nieuwenhuis there in the centre. He wanted to get through that turn first. He was so close to doing that, but after that, he was in the lead all the way. This is the first left-hander, and no one saw Joris Nieuwenhuis again. 7 laps on his own. By the end of the first lap, the only rider in touching distance was Niels van der Putte. After that, Nieuwenhuis just went on to a solo display of power and class. He had the real measure of the course. Lap 2 for Niels van der Putte was the one that put him in the shade. Still put in some fast times later on in the race, though. And he is a bit the World Cup leader, not having the best of days, but he doesn't like the snow too much. The course got more and more rideable as the race went on. Everybody vying for the highest position they could find. Michael van Turnhout enjoying his birthday out on the course, the European champion, eventually going forward to finish in 4th place behind Joran Versura. Isabit had moments where it looked like he might get into 3rd place. But Versura started to really show how he was loving the course. Having crashed so many times in the recce, he then managed to ride the majority of the course and even go to bunny hop the hurdles. A first World Cup win for the 2017 Under-23 World Champion. Behind him, Niels van der Putte in 2nd. And in 3rd place, Joran Versura. His first podium in his campaign. Well, look at the amazing scenery above this mountain in Val di Sole. We're going to make our way to Namur for next weekend. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week. Bye for now.